coming to you on location. This edition of Rink Report in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome to the show. Tarek El-Bashir, well, he's on assignment today. John Walton with you here on the Mentors trip. And what a special trip this is. The Caps dads and mentors along for the ride for 2 games in Florida and Tampa Bay. And we got a lot to cover on this show. We're going to get a little bit more into the Mentors trip. Chris Strome is going to join us in just a little bit. But we also have Ryan Leonard, an interview that we did recently. Tark and I talked to him from Chestnut Hill, the latest on his season, and may we see him at the end of his sophomore year playing for the Eagles. But here in Florida, the Caps trying to pick up some standings points after some recent stumbles. We first talked today with one of the veteran dads. He's done this a lot. His son Ryan playing for Anaheim. He's also got his son Matt playing in Hershey. My conversation from earlier with Chris Strome. Hanging out with Chris Strome here on the 2024 Mentors trip. The Capitals swinging through Florida. Chris, really appreciate you taking some time to join us. You have done this a few times. When you got a couple of sons in the NHL, you are a veteran to doing these kind of things. Does it ever get old, or is it unique every time?
No, it never gets old. It's great to hang out with the boys a little bit, see how busy they are. You think it's there are a lot of perks and benefits to this, but they really do work hard, and it's a busy schedule.
Yeah, I mean the schedule on this trip alone. You come into Florida, play the game, go on to Tampa. And, it's a lot of late nights and when you talk about some of those struggles to, put it all together over 82 games, it's a little glimpse of, what Dylan goes through.
Yeah, no, for sure. After the game, they're on the bus to the airport, off to the next city. But there's lots of food for them, so we don't have to worry about the food. The
NHL stands for Never Hungry League. That's certainly something we've talked about quite a bit. What is the best part of this for you? I mean, you're spending time with Dylan, but you're also spending a lot of time with people that you may not know very well, a lot of new faces every year, especially this year with a lot of new dads and a lot of new players coming into the organization. But, I mean, there's a camaraderie that is almost instant with the other dads and mentors, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's, we all kind of got here the same way. We talk about some of the early mornings and some of the drives and some of the tournaments and and then to be with Dylan, really just to see how he's matured and, really rounded into a really nice young man is really a great thing.
Well, there's the young man part, and then there's the hockey part where he is having, for the 3rd straight season, on pace to again top his career best. He did it his first year in D.C., his next year in D.C., and now the start that he's gotten off to. And when you look at a stat sheet and you see his name alongside McKinnon and McCarr and all of these guys that, are leading the way, and there's Dylan right there at the top of the pack to start the year.
Yeah, it's it's amazing. It takes everybody a little bit longer to get to where they want to be. I mean, he was a high draft pick, and sometimes it takes guys a little bit of time to kind of find their spot. But he's playing really well, and the whole team really. It's been such a great start to the year. So hopefully this can continue for a few more months.
How many? Now, you've got 2 sons playing in the NHL. How many times have you done this? And are you kind of feel like you're the leader of things as you walk around? Say, hey, listen, I know how this thing goes. Follow me to freedom, kind of thing.
I think this is about. I think 8 or 9, maybe I'm up into double digits. We missed a couple because of the COVID, but no, there's some veterans out here. We got Van Riemsdyk and Dick Carlson's been around, and Kevin Wilson. So we all kind of take the lead, I guess, a little bit.
You were, and again, you've got 2 in the NHL, but in the organization, Matt playing in Hershey, and the game-winning goal that he got to win a Calder Cup. I know you were there. You've got some pretty good hockey playing boys. That's an incredible thing. You got to be so proud of all of your boys.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's to win a Calder Cup, to win a championship is really tough, as we know. Calder Cup is second best to the Stanley Cup, but to have your son have such an impact on that championship, and we're really proud of him. He's persevered. A lot of guys maybe would have packed it in, but he's stuck with it, and he's plugging along, and hopefully he can accomplish his dream of one day playing in the NHL.
Well, Chris, we hope you continue to have a wonderful time here on the Mentors trip, being around all of the dads and mentors that make this an annual thing for guys who have been around here for a while. But we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Always great chatting with Chris, and always great chatting with all of the dads and father figures and mentors that are along on this trip. It's a lot of fun getting to know the guys that helped our guys get to the ice and play for the Washington Capitals. One guy who's going to be a Capital one day, perhaps soon, the 8th overall pick in the 2023 NHL entry draft, Ryan Leonard, is ripping it up at Boston College. He's got 11 goals in 12 games this season as they head in toward the middle part of their campaign. Tarek and I recently caught up with Ryan to talk about his year-to-dates. Happy to have with us Ryan Leonard on the show here on Rink Report. Ryan, we appreciate the time. And I guess first off, I just want to ask you how your season's going at BC. We've seen a lot of highlights on the social media stuff, and it looks like you're having a pretty good sophomore season there.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun year and an anticipated year for sure. Probably would have liked one less loss on our standings right now in our record, but our team's doing great, and it's a lot of fun in the locker room. So the team's having a blast out there, so that's the most important.
Okay, Ryan, I got to ask you about your overtime winner against Providence the other night. That is literally the craziest goal I have seen since Alex Ovechkin rolled that one in behind his back in Arizona back in 2006. Like, what's going through your mind as you're plucking that puck out of skates and then you put it behind your back? It was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, originally I would have liked if that guy didn't lift my stick, and I would have gotten the first shot off and tried to go low blocker where I anticipated going. And then it was just kind of improvising from there. Honestly, it was just, I saw the puck that was still loose and somehow it just found it. And then, like you said, behind my back, I've never done that before in my life, never practiced it or anything. And then just kind of poked it, and then it slowly trickled in. So my dad made a joke after the game and said, that puck wouldn't have broke any panel of glass in the world. So, so I mean, you take it when you can get them, and yeah, we're fortunate enough to come back in that game for sure.
Yeah, crazy to watch, and yeah, that was a fun one for sure. Ryan, I want to ask about from last season into this. I know that you had a wonderful freshman year and got right to the doorstep of a national championship and weren't able to get there. How much does that motivate you, and how much does that motivate your teammates to try and get back to the promised land here?
Yeah, we definitely hit on that a lot during this the preseason that we had. It's last year's in the past, and obviously you want to take all the learning curves from last year and try to learn everything you can about that and what the goods that we had with the team last year. But the team's completely different this year, and there's a lot of new and important pieces. But like that everyone anticipates, you lose a couple important guys. So it's just more about filling in roles and just trying to really stick to your identity. You can't really overcomplicate things at the start of the year. I think at the start of the year, a couple guys, including myself, you kind of go out there and you think you got to do too much, but in reality, you just kind of do what you did last year and how that success really paid off for you. So really just simpling things down. And definitely, like you said, though, there's definitely a big urge to get back to the promised land, and but still, you got to take a weekend at a time. You saw last weekend, took a game off, and probably lose to a team we shouldn't really lose to. So definitely a learning curve for our team, and hopefully it'll pay off for us.
So, Ryan, everything is happening right now in D.C., right? The Caps are in first place in the Eastern Conference. They're scoring more goals than anyone else in the league. Oh, and Alex Ovechkin is week to week with an injury. How close of an eye are you able to keep on the Caps, and are you always trying to keep up with the headlines?
Yeah, no, definitely keeping an eye on for sure. Everything. I've watched a lot of more games this year, and then definitely keeping tabs on everything. I think this year is an important year for myself, and it's definitely fun to watch the Caps this year and how good they're doing and how dominant they are out there.
Yeah,
it's been fun to watch Ovechkin score all those goals, and it sucks that he's out right now, but last week was definitely, or this week, whatever it was, watching him score those 5 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, unreal.
That was pretty fun to watch. So All my buddies in our common room, I live with 7 other guys, so we always throw it on in the common room and the TV. So yeah, it's definitely fun to watch for sure, and they're doing amazing. So hopefully they keep it going.
Ryan, as you watch that, how excited are you to know that one day you're going to be a part of that?
Yeah, I think it still brings you myself goosebumps every time someone kind of brings that aspect up. I think it's something you dream of your whole life, and hopefully that day comes true sooner rather than later. So yeah, it's definitely a childhood dream, and hopefully it can happen soon.
So Ryan, all you do apparently is win gold medals, and you've got the World Junior Championships coming up here in the not so distant future. How excited are you to get back into that tournament and defend your championship?
Yeah, I think first off, it's going to be the first time my parents really get to come see me play
Awesome.
internationally at the World Junior stage. They both have full-time jobs, so they weren't that they couldn't make it to the ones that are overseas. So with this one being in Ottawa and close enough for my family to come, it's definitely going to be a fun time. And yeah, I think we talked about it this summer with the team in the group that we had in the summer showcase. There's definitely a lot of high standards for our team, and to hopefully go back to back. And yeah, so definitely backs were against the walls last year. And the U.S. has never had really a good record in Sweden, so
Yeah.
to go do that last year was definitely something really special, and hopefully we can continue that into Ottawa this year.
Well, Ryan, we'll be keeping an eye on you, and we keep an eye on what's going on with Boston College. Good luck to you the rest of the season, and hopefully it ends where you want it to with a national championship. We really appreciate you taking some time to join us here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
He'll be a Capital one day soon. Ryan Leonard, great to have a chance to talk with him here on Rink Report. The Capitals are in the midst of a busy week, starting here in Florida. A game coming up tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then it's back at home on Friday. A Black Friday matinee as the New York Islanders come in. We see them for the first time this season. And then, believe it or not, on Saturday, the Caps will be done for the year with the New Jersey Devils, a game at the Rock in Newark on Saturday night. For Tarek El-Bashir, I'm John Walton. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Rink Report.